Hey guys, welcome to another Game Explained discussion. I'm your host, Andre Seegers, and this time we're joined by Derek Bittner and Ash Paulson to discuss the speculation around Shovel Knight in Smash Bros. So, let's get started. Alright guys, so obviously there's been a lot of speculation about Shovel Knight in Smash Bros. We ourselves have created quite a few videos about that, including one last night, because there was a listing on the official Amiibo website that showed Shovel Knight Amiibo support in Smash Bros., which is of course something we hadn't seen before or even heard about before. Even if it had been speculated about. Now the thing is, as I pointed out in the video, the Amiibo website is rife with errors, including even showing Chibi Robo as a potential character in Smash Brothers, and that's, I mean, again, that could be a thing as well, but there have been actual other, like, proven mistakes on that website. So I didn't think anything of it, but there were some interesting things about this I wanted to discuss, I think as we all did, especially with Yacht Club's comments on this. But before we get to that, I do want to just address one thing real quick, because the headline I went with last night is Smash Bros. Getting Shovel Knight Amiibo support? And I had like the typical question mark and exclamation mark. Now, what I was trying to do is I was trying to convey, like, you know, the
shock.
Yeah, the shock of that news. I was like trying to express like excitement and skepticism within the headline, and I don't think I fully conveyed that. I mean, I want you to click on our videos, of course, but I don't want to mislead people. And the same thing last night. I even ran headlines by Derek.
That's the funny thing. Every time we go with a headline, you and I always have a little debate. Is like, okay, which sounds best? Like, conveys all the information, but also doesn't sound too clickbaity. It's just hard to.
We're trying to fit in a lot of information in a small amount of space. Of course, there's SEO and a bunch of things to take into account. But with that said, there's no science to it, and we try to do our best. And so I will admit, I think I may have messed up last night's headline in that people were taking it in a way I didn't even think it would be taken. People were taking it as it being more confirmed than it actually is, and that it wasn't really confirmed at all. Which is, of course, what I say in the video, but a lot of people didn't, watch all the way through. So I do apologize for that. I didn't intend for it to be as misleading as it was or as it came across. That's something we'll try to improve going forward. I mean, it's not a science. We're always trying to work on that. Anyways, so with that out of the way, I did want to talk about this because, a lot of people want to see Shovel Knight in the game. Also, apparently a lot of people don't. It seems to be actually a pretty divisive issue. I've actually seen people in the comments say that they don't want Shovel Knight to get in the game just so they can hear the salt from me about him not being in the game. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I haven't cared if he's in the game. I haven't even.
It'll be more from salt from me.
Yeah, from you. I don't know if that confusing me with you. I haven't even finished Shovel Knight, so I mean, don't get me wrong, I get inherently excited for any possible character in the game, just from the excitement that inherently has. But as far as Shovel Knight, I don't really care. But I know you do, Ash. Like, you would love to see him in the game.
Yeah, I mean, not only because I personally love the game and the character, but also at this point, just because the anti-Shovel Knight people are so rude about it that I kind of want to see him in the game now just to see them salty. So see, now it's become more about throwing salt on the other side.
Right, man.
Than about having a character in the game. Yeah,
I was going to say, it's like the Great Salt Wars of 2015.
Yeah, the Shovel Knight Salt Wars.
Well, it seems like, it feels like whenever we're dealing with like an indie character, like it seems like the salt really comes out. We have like the Shantae fan base, we have the Shovel Knight fan base, I'm sure we have other fan bases as well. I think it's because, I mean, indie characters by, just being an indie character has typically a more limited reach. And so you're going to get people who are really passionate about those, but they are in a smaller demographic. And so it builds up these factions of, who are fans of these characters. When really, I don't know why people are getting so upset. I mean, we're all on the same page. Like, when you break it down, we all want to see more characters of Smash Brothers, so...
Well, I think people are upset because, unfortunately, there is a large subset of gamers out there who just hear the word indie and totally bristle and think that all indie games are just crap, that are just not worth exploring or checking out because they're cheap or whatever justification they have for themselves. Like, they're cheap or they're low budget or they're not AAA. Like, there are a lot of people out there who just don't think indie games are worth it.
Right. Yeah.
And those people are not right. That's the kindest way I could put that. That's the kindest way I could put that.
I love how diplomatic you were there.
There were other things I wanted to say instead, but I had to remain
That was the
nice,
diplomatic version.
Friendly.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, I mean, a popular choice, if a possibly controversial choice, but I have a feeling no matter who they end up going with as part of the Smash ballot, no matter who they go with, I think it will be divisive to some degree. So I think that's just going to be the case. But you know, even though there may be more to be said about Shovel Knight himself as a character, related to that, I want to talk about real quick about the Yacht Club comments, because shortly after I posted the video last night, Yacht Club Games came out and responded to some tweets on Twitter where they basically said the listing was a mistake. Just as I said in the video. I mean, it's probably a mistake because that website is rife with errors. But here's a weird thing: is the way Yacht Club Games is saying it was a mistake. So one person asked on Twitter, "Is this a mistake?" And the Yacht Club Games responded, and I quote, "I believe so. Sorry for the confusion." And then similarly, they responded to another one saying, I'm paraphrasing this one. I'm inclined to think, this is their response, I'm inclined to think it was a mistake. Sorry for any confusion it may cause. What are they talking about? There is no believing or inclination to know if this is a mistake or not. You are Yacht Club Games.
Yeah, why not just say yes, it was a mistake.
Right.
Period.
Like,
yeah.
The only thing I can think of in this case, the reason they wouldn't know is maybe they're not planning to get in the game itself, like officially, without the ballot. Maybe if they win the ballot, they'll get in, but they don't know if they've won the ballot yet, and that's why they're saying they're not completely sure. But that's the only thing I can come up with, because you'd think otherwise they'd be working with Yacht Club to get the moves right, the look right, everything else, you know?
In order for Nintendo to do anything with Shovel Knight, they would have to get Yacht Club's permission. So Yacht Club Games is going to be fully involved with every step of this process. And so they know right now whether Shovel Knight is lined up for being smashed or not. So what they could say is, for instance, is straight up. So right now they either know he's a character or not in the game. At this point in time, that could always change down the line. That doesn't need to change their response currently, though. So as is, they know for sure whether he's a character or not in Smash Brothers. So there's no reason for them to be vague in these responses. So there's two explanations. One, they're downplaying the fact that he's a character in the game, which is possible. They also denied there being a Smash Brothers amiibo, and as it turned out. They also denied there being a Shovel Knight amiibo. And as it turned out, it was for a completely pedantic reason, where they were specifically denying that that the amiibo had appeared as part of the Smash Brothers line, which is such a small distinction to make. But everyone took that as disproving there being an amiibo at all. So the other possibility, though, is that they're just basically screwing with their fan base. They're like, we don't really know for sure. Maybe not. Even though they know that he's not. But based on the amiibo thing, okay. So let me clarify. I'm not taking this as concrete anyway at all. But based on how they treated the amiibo, I'm inclined to think this does lend some credence to the idea that he will appear in the game in some fashion.
It's just something that won't go away. It's like they're treating they're kind of dancing around the issue so much that it's just a little suspicious. It's kind of this thing that won't go away, and Yacht Club really stands to gain nothing from screwing with their fan base. I mean, if anything, they stand to gain some negative press, and why would they want that? I mean, they've had so many opportunities to come out and just say, you know what, guys, he's not in the game. Maybe he will be in the game with the ballot. Hey, vote for Shovel Knight. And if you recall, Shantae, the Shantae's creators, they were asking people, actively, begging people in backer emails for Shantae Half-Genie Hero, hey, please vote for Shantae in Smash Brothers. Yacht Club hasn't done anything like that. Mm-hmm. Why? Why haven't they? Because, I mean, I guess they could be seen as obnoxious, but, obviously Shantae's not currently lined up for Smash, or else they wouldn't be begging, Half-Genie Hero backers to vote for her in the ballot. Why isn't Yacht Club doing the same thing as Shovel Knight? There's just so many slightly suspicious things about how Yacht Club has handled this, and they really stand to gain nothing by being coy about the issue if Shovel Knight is not in the game.
It is kind of odd. As soon as the Smash ballot was announced, all these companies came out of the woodworks to say, hey, you should vote for our characters, or hey, you should vote for our character, and a lot of them barely had any association with Nintendo at all.
Remember Artix?
Yeah, Artix. I don't ask me, but
yeah.
But the only one that actually kept it up throughout, and that at least that I've seen, is Way Forward with Shantae. But Yacht Club, they sort of just stepped away from it as well, and it might be either because they were just so wrapped up with getting the amiibo ready, or there's some thing to do with the Shovel Knight amiibo that they just can't say. Or, and I brought this up with Andre before I knew all the details, but when I heard that Chibi Robo was also listed and I didn't know about the history of this site being wrong, I was like, well, maybe there's a new type of amiibo functionality coming to Smash Brothers, and that could also be another reason that Yacht Club games are being coy. Because Shovel Knight's amiibos is going to be compatible with Smash Brothers, but not as a character, with some other functionality that adds something to the game. And I have no idea what that could be, and that's just a wild shot in the dark. That's probably wrong, but another theory, maybe? I don't know.
And that's entirely true. I mean, they could use it to just unlock costumes or whatnot. So yeah, let me amend my previous comments. Basically, whenever I said that Smash Brothers could appear, or Shovel Knight could appear in Smash Brothers, I think it could be along those lines too. So basically, all I'm saying is, these comments are really suspicious, and it almost sounds like they're inadvertently confirming some kind of Shovel Knight amiibo supporting Smash Brothers. To what extent, I don't know.
I mean, here's something. Maybe they're being coy because Shovel Knight is going to appear in the game, but only as a Mii Fighter costume, and they don't want to disappoint people.
Yeah,
you know, like there could be that too. Like he may just be one of those characters like Chrom or the Black Knight or King K. Rool so far, who have only appeared as Mii Fighter costumes. So
yeah,
that could be it. I do want to touch on, because obviously I am biased toward wanting Shovel Knight in the game completely. I would love that to happen, but I want to point out that one of the biggest strikes against him being in the game, or the possibility of him being in the game, is the fact that he's almost or basically an unknown character in Japan. Now, that doesn't preclude him from being in the game, but if Sakurai is trying to create a roster that will appeal to, gamers worldwide, Shovel Knight is not a character that Japanese gamers know or even care about at this particular point in time. They might later on, once the game is actually released in Japan, but as it stands, Shovel Knight has no clout in Japan at all. So that is one major reason that Shovel Knight might not be in Smash.
So I've heard that argument a lot, but now, so here's the thing. There have been a lot of, supposed rules for Smash Brothers.
Sure.
And we've already seen Sakurai just blow all those away.
Totally true. I'm just trying to kind of present both sides of the issue. Yeah.
I think so. There's validity to that. The question is how much. Because we have seen Nintendo taking on a more global perspective, I think, and so I don't even know how much that would matter. I mean, after all, Japan is just one of the 3 major territories that Nintendo releases games in, and even by using that logic, I don't believe that. Similarly, I guess. Lil Mac, I don't think is really known well in Japan, and he's
I was gonna say, I think I remember Sakurai saying at least on a couple of occasions that Little Mac was a character added mostly for Western audiences, that mostly Western audiences were begging for him.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it's gone other ways as well. I mean, look at Melee when the Fire Emblem characters were first introduced.
Yeah, no one knew who they were.
Nobody knew who they were, but that's specifically for the Japanese audience. The question is, will they do it vice versa, where they take a virtual unknown in Japan and put them in Smash Brothers?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the weirdest bit to me about all this is why hasn't Yacht Club been as aggressive in asking fans to vote for Shovel Knight as Way Forward has with Shantae? Like, you'd think that they would stand to gain a lot from asking fans to do it because there are a lot of Shovel Knight fans.
Yeah.
So it's just strange that they haven't been aggressive in asking them to do that.
That combined with how coy their comments are, which again, it could just be them, playing around their fan base. But the fact that they did the exact same thing for the Smash Brothers amiibo is so weird. It's so suspicious. Or sorry, the Shovel Knight amiibo. I keep saying that. Yeah.
And they also outright denied that Shovel Knight was getting a physical retail release, and then a couple of weeks later it was confirmed. So,
you know what? They really are taking a page on Nintendo's playbook, where Nintendo straight up denied there being a new Nintendo DS back in the day, and the next day they announced a new Nintendo DS.
So maybe in that sense, it's not a good thing that they're not just straight up denying it, because that would actually make it likelier that Shovel Knight actually is in the game.
I suppose so.
So now we're just completely we don't even know. Now it's just who knows now.
Yeah. So ultimately, we don't have proof either way or not. All that really matters is the Yacht Club Games comments on this means almost nothing at all based on their previous comments.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. I mean, if nothing else, they have treated the situation strangely. Whether or not Shovel Knight actually is going to be in Smash Brothers, they have treated the situation very strangely.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is that could be not even their intent, because look at what you said right at the beginning of this thing is we did not intend for that headline to come across the way it did. And maybe that's what happened to them.
Maybe, but I don't know. Our problem is our omission of words. Their problem is insertion of words.
Yeah. Well, plus they've had so many chances not to come off as a little suspicious, and every time they mess that up. So, if it was just once, I would say, okay, maybe they just goofed. But this has been several times now where they've had the chance to, debunk something rather plainly, and they either choose or I should say consciously or unconsciously choose not to. So, it's a little weird.
All right, any final thoughts at all, guys? Anything we talked about, or are we done here?
I think we covered
pretty much got all my thoughts, man. I don't have too much to say on all this, but it's really just a thing where I think it's just a pure mistake, and it might be coming, but none of this actually confirms any of it, and it's whatever.
How dare you, Shovel Knight non-believer.
Yep. Sorry.
All right. Well, I think we're done here. So thanks, guys, for watching. If you liked our discussion, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. You can find links to them in the description below, which way keep up to date on everything we post. And, of course, keep an eye on GameXplain for more on Super Smash Bros. And Shovel Knight and other things gaming as well. Thanks, guys. Bye.